Okay. The next session will be on technology, and it will be chaired by Nir Peleg. Nir spent most of his time within the IDF, and in the last 2 years or so, he is the director of the R&D division of the National Cyber Bureau. Nir, I don't see you, but here, okay, come, please.
Hear me? So thank you very much, and good afternoon to everybody. And I'm happy to open this Internet of Things session. Exactly after me is the Prime Minister, I believe, so it will be very tight and we need to keep the schedule. In this session, we will hear some very interesting lectures about the next big thing that will potentially affect our lives, our homes, our cities, and energy distribution and many other areas of the way we do things. The notion of Internet of Things actually started about 2009 when the number of Internet-connected devices exceeded the number of population in the world. And the expectation, according to one of the Cisco researchers, is on 2015 it will be 25 billion, and in 2020 it will be 50 billion. So the Internet of Things is called also the cyber physical systems because it relates and connects the cyber and the physical more bounded, which create new markets and new opportunities, but also bring challenges and threat landscapes that will be changed. And the threat opportunity need to be taken into care. But the main difference, I believe, is that relative and in contrast to many other technologies such as the IP protocol and SCADA system, other legacy protocols, that security came after and patched to the system and to the architecture. In this case, there is a real opportunity to get the approach of security by design approach because it's a new thing and a new architectures. So to address these topics, I'm very happy to present our distinguished industry leaders to present their perspectives. The first one will be Mooly Eden, who is the Senior Vice President, General Manager, and Perceptual Computing President of Intel Israel. Now, a few words about Mooly, and then a short movie will be played. Mooly is responsible for overseeing all Intel Israel operations and strategy. Eden joined in 1982 to the company. He held numerous technical and management positions in microprocessor design for several Intel microprocessors, including the Intel Pentium, as you all know, with the MMX technology. From 1999 to 2003, he was director and general manager of Intel's Israel Development Center. He was responsible for the development of the mobile microprocessor and chipsets, including Intel Citrino processor technology and Intel Pentium M processors. In 2004, Eden served as Vice President and Director of Marketing and Mobile Platforms Group, responsible for the driving growth of the notebook computing segment in Intel. In 2009, he was promoted to Vice President and General Manager of the PC Client Group, where he oversaw the platform planning architecture, enabling market of Intel's PC solutions for the desktop and mobile computing segments. In 2012, he returned to Israel, where he have been serving as the President of Intel Israel, as well as General Manager in Perceptual Computing Organization. Now, the interesting point is that in 2012, he was selected on the list to be one of ranked on 26th list in 2012 of the 100 most creative people in the world. By the way, higher than him was Lady Gaga, who is also here in Tel Aviv. So I welcome Mooly, please. And please, a short movie before one.
All right, thank you. Wow, such a long and boring resume. Okay, by the way, it's not a joke. Lady Gaga was voted the most innovative person in the world at that time. I believe after she went with a steak shirt. All right, let's go first of all and get into the right mood with a video of what we are doing in 1 minute on the internet. Supposed to be a sound, I believe. Yes. So if you're not scared shit by now, I'll try to do it in the coming 20 minutes. Because all this data, all this device, all these bits are exposed to attacks. And when we come with the Internet of Things, this is going to be order of magnitude more scary. It's going to be more frightening. But first, before I start, let's try to understand what is Internet of Things or Internet of Everything, because everybody speaks about it, everybody means something different. So first of all, the things that categorize Internet of Things is just three things. It computes, it communicates, and it's connected to the cloud. 85% of the devices today that are computing, your fridge, your dishwasher, something in the car, etc., are not connected to the Internet, and for that reason, they are not in the category of IoT. IoT, three things. It computes, it communicates, it connected to the cloud, either for data or to do some big data analysis and help us live our life in a better way. So let's try to understand what is it? And it's about 5 categories. Let me focus through some of them. I've seen that there have been some attempts. Let me take. First of all, it's about me. It's about my smartphone. It's about my fitness devices. You think that I came over here to give you a speech? No, I just came to do some steps and see how many steps I did. It's about the smart glasses. It's about all the things that are on me, many times 24/7. Many times it can record what I hear. Many times it can see what I see. This is part. This is a small part of the Internet of Things, and this is the wearable devices. Now you heard about the wearable devices, and you see this Fitbit and all the things. Let me give you a sneak peek what we mean by wearable devices, and because this clip is going very fast, let's start by telling you that pretty soon we'll have patches which are actually computer screens. We'll have dresses, that the whole dress is going to be computer screens. Let's go and see the video. I'll speak over it. She looks at the patchable screen. She sees she's short of vitamin C. She goes and she eats an apple. Later on, you go to the gym room. On the same screen, which have got wireless connectivity, you can see your heart rate, you can see your step, you can do whatever you want. She goes meet with a friend. They have got music. They touch hands to each other and they can change the channel. They can listen to the same. She's got a wearable dress. She can copy the dress to her dress because the whole dress is one big screen. She's got computer on her sleeves. there's a rock concert, she can buy it. And they go to the rock concert. He's playing golf. He's got wearable devices on his body. He wants to improve his strike. He's doing it. The devices are measuring. He can get the feedback on his computer. And voila, tomorrow morning he'll be a much better golf player. He's going with his son to learn about butterflies. Remember that this can be also display. He's touching the display for the butterfly. He attracts the butterfly to the flower. The butterfly comes to the flower. He can have even a quiz. The quiz asking which butterfly it is. He can answer. This is wearable device. And look at her shirt. Look at the size of the shirt. It's getting close. I'm thinking, what's happening? There'll be a cyber attack over here. Ignore. The dress is changing. The color is changing. The appearance is changing. This is what I mean, wearable devices. Guys, you are going to see all these things in the coming 2.5 years, and definitely it's going to be commercialized in less than 10 years. So what you see is not science fiction. What you see is science, and it's just a matter of time when we are going to have it. But it's not only about this. I say it's about me, it's around me. It's about the air condition, it's about the washing machine, it's about my TV, washing machine. I'll just throw my laundry inside and I close it. The person that will operate my laundry machine will be the electrical company, because they know when they don't have a lot of electricity to provide, and they can give me special rate if I let them regulate and decide when to do it. My fridge will be great, because you'll know exactly what I have inside, and if I've got something missing, the refrigerator will order it from the supermarket, not myself. And then my technical assistant told me, and if there'll be a cyber attack, you'll get a note from the bank that you are in overdraft because your refrigerator just ordered 1 ton of Chinese cheese, or God knows what. No, it's not funny. I'll tell you when to laugh. This is really scary. This can happen. It's not only about me, it's about where I live. It's about electrical gas meters. It's about my electrical car, my navigation system. All these things are going to be around me as I speak, and this is where I live. But more than that, if I go, it's going to be around my world. My world is the smart city, all the traffic, all the security cameras, everything is going to compute, it's going to be communicated, it's going to be connected to the cloud, and in this chaos, this is where we are going to live in the near future. So let's see what's happening. If you are trying to look at it, there's 2 things, compute power and the form factor. And until now, when we try to protect the servers. We try to protect the PCs. But if you look at the wearable devices, the phones, these things, they're not protected. Many times when they are connected, they're not even encrypted. Why do you need to go after the big guys of the server? Go try to attack this, and then try to go upside the food chain over there. And if you've got few tens, hundreds of billions of servers, and if I look at PCs, probably we've got few billions, and if I could look at phones, I've got 6, 7 billion, and if I look at Internet of Things, and several people mention it, the data type is different, but the year 2020, we are supposed to have 50 billion connected devices that will be connected to the cloud. Actually, everything that we'll do will be done by computers that will surround us and help us live a better life. Why is it so scary? Because if you look at the survey, and this is just one survey that I used from HP, and they took some wearable devices and they tried to test and see what's happening. And they tested wearable devices, Internet of Things devices, IoT. Wearable is just a small subsegment, as I showed you, and the grade that they gave is fail, F, one big fail. IoTs today are not secure. It's insufficient authentication. The password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, because this is your password, yes. So first of all, the passwords are very, very weak. You go to the network, no encryption, nothing. You just go to the network. And remember, this knows my health, this knows my pulse, it knows my everything, and you just go and everybody can hack it and know what's happening with me. So we don't have network encryption. Insecure web interface, weak password reset. If you just go to the internet and say, I lost my password, what's your mother's name, what's your kids? Guys, I can find it out about each one of you. I can do it, I can change the password, and now your account is mine. And the one thing, and sorry if I'm losing somebody, I hope I'll not lose too many, if you're trying to update the firmware, which is actually the lowest level of software, which is on the hardware, even below the operating system, there's automatic patches that coming from the phones company, from the OEMs, etc., and I can send you a patch of firmware. And if this is going out to, guys, you've got a virus at the basic of your device, very difficult to get rid of it. To make it even more complicated, we have solutions. But who is the we? And this is the we. Almost each one of the companies in the world have got a solution. Many different solutions, many different protocols, no security standard. We are working on it now, many silos. This leads to something which is very complicated and terrible TCO, total cost of ownership for the enterprise, and for consumer, just forget about it. We put the device and we pray. And remember that in several years, this device is going to be in my car. This device is going to drive my electrical car. So I'll sit in the back and I say, drive me home. And hopefully, if nobody will hack it, the computer will bring me home on my automatic car. But if somebody will hack it, God knows where I'll end up. So, what are they going to attack? If you look at a chain, the strength of the chain is defined by the weakest link. And the weakest link in our case, no doubt about it, is the device, is the IoT device. You can see that rather than to go to attack over here, we'll try to go to attack from the simple devices, from the Internet of Things, for these 50 billion, that many of them are unsecured, and then trying to go up the chain, getting all the way where the real data is, and then do what we need to do. In order to do it, we need to do two things. We need to have secure ubiquity. Guys, when we are designing microprocessor or we are designing software, we say, what is the size? What is the power? What is the performance? Today, one of the checklists is what is the security of each component that we design today. So we need to have security, ubiquity in every place. We need to have security end-to-end, from the smallest device to the server, because as we say, the attack will go and try to identify the weakest list. And if you are looking at the solution, on each one of the devices, let it be your phone, or your wearable device, or your gateway in the house, or your communication, or your server, we need to have also top to bottom. And I'll speak in 2 minutes what's the end-to-end, which is trivial, and what is top to bottom, which is slightly less trivial. And I'll go a little bit trying to dive into it. If we are trying to look at every device, and over here we look at the phone, but it's true from structure, from architectural point of view, to other devices, we've got many layers. At the lowest level, we've got the silicon. The silicon is the lowest level of every device. And by the way, I would like to take this opportunity and resent all these 500-kilogram gorillas. I don't believe that we, the multinational, are gorillas. I believe that Intel Israel is just the biggest startup in the world. But I'll go on. So, I told you, this is not a joke. I'll tell you where to laugh. So first of all, it's the silicon layer, which, by the way, I can make it really hard to break from security point of view, because these are transistors. You cannot go from the cloud and with bits trying to change something that we did in hardware. On top of it, we've got the firmware, which is the very low-level software, which is kind of the interface between the hardware and the other layers. I've got the system, I've got the middleware, I've got the software, and on top of it, we've got the applications. So bear with me for 5 minutes, because I'll try to do something very fast, but just give you the flavor. First of all, let's look at the silicon. The silicon is the lowest level, and this is the microprocessor, this is the controller, these are the things that we are working. In order to make it successful, we are doing several things over here. First of all, we try to do manageability engine. Manageability engine today is scalable from the smaller device, which is minute IA, which are devices that are going here, all the way to microprocessor, all the way to big compute servers. We put this controller. This controller is outside of the microprocessor, the brain. Try to think about a little brain outside of the big brain, which I can program separately. It's not affected by the operating system. And whenever you drink and you think that you are okay and you are not drunk, I can go to this small brain and say, what's the situation of the big brain? So it doesn't do too much, but it can definitely check around to see if everything is okay. This is an engine which is not impacted by the operating system. Actually, the operating system cannot even go to this engine. And this engine, when you wake it up, it looks around. For example, I can give you something which will be clear to everybody. If I've got antivirus on your system and you decide to take the antivirus away, I can program this engine to say, if there's no antivirus, install the antivirus. And then you'll go to the computer, and the computer is too small, so you take the antivirus away. Whenever you wait, this small creature is looking and say, he will install it. And you can fight with him as long as you want. He's got more patience. So this is kind of the small engine. We've got software guard extension, which some of you will hear about it. The first time it will come, it's on Skylake. Skylake is the next generation microprocessor, which will have separate enclaves. So you'll be able to run different pieces of software in different enclaves and make sure that one enclave is not impacting the other. So if this application you run on the web and it's get a virus, you'll not be able to attack the other application, which is the application that you currently go to the bank, and it will be very much secure from each other with hardware, not with software. And the other thing is memory protection extension. A lot of the virus attacks are done by virus overflow. We can identify it, we can stop the system and tell you, hey, you've been under attack. All these things are hardened by hardware to make sure that you minimize the chance to be attacked. I cannot say it will never be attacked, because until we not put it into the market and see what hackers are trying to do, but definitely it's much more complicated. The next level is, again, things that we are doing on the firmware. In this case, we developed the boot guard. If you know, when you boot, which is the most sensitive software, because that's what you have, first of all, first time that you boot the system, we'll do some hashing, and we'll store the hashing result in some secured memory, and then whenever you do boot again and again, we'll compare it to this one, and if there'll be any difference, we say, hey, hold it, somebody have attacked your computer is contaminated. If I continue from here on, it's not a secret, we bought a full company that is doing operating system. It's Wind River. Actually, they develop end-to-end, machine-to-machine operating system, which take care of the security, connectivity, manageability, all the things that are required in order to be able to secure this operation, because this Internet of Things they manage, they'll speak with the cloud, but they'll also speak with each other. And enough was said today that they are much faster than the human being, and we need automatically to make sure that we can protect it. And last but not least, once you have everything, there is still a chance that you will be contaminated by some kind of a virus or worm or whatever. And for that reason, we are running the security software on the upper level. And this is the identification level. In this case, we are doing it with McAfee that we purchased a few years ago. Other companies are doing it with other things. But remember, this is not prevention, like what we are trying to do at the hardware at the lower level. This is mainly detection. You have something, let us try to stop it, or let us try to clean it, or let us try to do all these things. So when I say end-to-end, from the Internet of Things device, all the way up through the gateway in the home, communication all the way to servers, or I see top to bottom, each one of these devices, try to harden it from the silicon all the way to the firmware, up to the application level. These are the two things that we need to do together. Now, personally, I took it a little bit hard, because when I heard about all the cyber companies in Israel, I think one company was missing. So let me just share with you. The missing company is our company. So let me just share with you, because I'm very proud of it, and I believe you should be proud of it. The next generation microprocessor called Skylake that's going to be introduced in 2015 have got all this security, secure enclave, buffer overflow detection, everything is designed over here in Haifa. All the trusted encryption of the wireless stuff is designed over here, but by our team in Petah Tikva. If we are looking at the manageability engine, this small controller which is below the operating system and is identifying what's happened, and almost every cyber company or cyber agency in the world are trying to understand what we are doing, this is designed by our people in Jerusalem. And if we are looking at the big data and trying to take the big data and try to see what to do with this, or try to identify some abnormal behavior because of a virus attack, this is done in Kiryat Gat, not to mention 3 companies from McAfee that we bought in Israel. And for that reason, I believe, and that's, by the way, I'm not trying to persuade you, that's what I need to persuade the upper-level management of Intel, that Israel overall is positioned in a great way to do the integration all the way from the hardware to the software, and by taking advantage of both links, to be able to develop something which is very, very, very strong, or very, very robust, and I believe we are there. So to summarize, if I'm trying to think, We need to secure the future, and we need to make sure that this bad viral will not go to the data. So if I'm trying to think about it, Internet of Things is great opportunity, but it's a huge new risk. Guys, whatever you have in the morning, the attack envelope of these 50 billion devices is few orders of magnitude bigger than when you're trying to attack now a phone, which costs $600, so you can put some security. I'm speaking about devices that will cost $30, and will be much more dependent. Just to give you a feeling, if we believe that each one of the electrical lamps in our house is going to be connected to such a controller, you just need to hack it and get to Israel and switch on and off all the lights in Israel at the same second, and you got the whole electricity down. This is the level of dependency that we have. So we say it's great opportunity but huge risk. Solutions supposed to be end-to-end and top-to-bottom, and probably we'll need to work between companies that today we are rivals in order to define better standards, because if you have one company here and another company here, I believe definitely we'll be in a big problem. I believe standardization is essential. I don't believe that people will be able to work with it unless we'll figure out something. It's like the world decided one day that they are going to fight pirates in the sea, and it was extinguished. This is exactly the same thing. Nobody is vulnerable to this kind of attack. We need to do it together. And with respect to the local point, I believe due to the fact that we've got all this knowledge, due to the fact that we've got so many people coming to the army, due to the fact that I believe people here are innovative, and it's totally different subject, I'll not expand on it right now, I believe that the Israeli high-tech is well positioned to be in the front line of IoT security. First of all, it's important for each one of us, and second, it's a great business, great opportunity for the Israeli economy. Thank you very much.